The day has come. The legend, the hero, Łukasz Jakowski came back and created Age of History 3. And I played it the same day that it released. Hello everyone, my name is Ayas, and here are my thoughts for Age of History 3. Okay, so even actually before talking about what I think about the game and stuff like that, I actually just wanted to very quickly say how much of a gigantic roller coaster of emotions I had even before the game released. Like, in the first month before the game, published, I was very excited for it. I thought that this is gonna be something revolutionary for the grand strategies the game scene, and yeah, I was really excited to play it. But then, at the very last day, so that was when did the game release? I literally forgot. On the 22nd of October, I remember I just suddenly became very skeptical for some reason. I just kind of was like, wait, am I actually gonna like this game? Because I heard and I also saw that this game is gonna be similar to Europa Universalis 4, a game that I really don't like. So I became kind of skeptical, but a day later and everything kind of changed, honestly, so yeah. Okay, so let's finally get to the meat of this review. Age of History 3 is of course a game that you probably played if you were watching this review, I'm guessing. Maybe you actually haven't played the game, you're just interested what all the fuss is about. Basically, it's a real-time grand strategy game that takes place during basically the whole period of the world. It doesn't really have like a set period that it only wants to focus on, but at the same time, I feel like most of the mechanics that the game has kind of fit mostly only into the medieval scenarios, I guess you can call them. The game is overall a lot different from the sequel of the series actually, because it adds a lot more features. One of the examples is actually research. Research is actually very prominent in most grand strategy games, but it wasn't present in Age of History 2. But in Age of History 3, it is. Some of the also interesting things that were actually added were civilization legacies. They are basically just like little bonuses they can put if you have enough legacy points. They will give you more manpower, more, I don't know, production. I can't really create the top of my head correctly, but yeah, they just add a lot of bonuses. From what I said before, the game is basically just Europa Universalis 4, but just a little bit different, which I mean, good for the game, but I don't know. Also, I forgot to say, but no, the game doesn't have any multiplayer, which I don't really mind, but it'll be a cool feature to have. So, what do I like about the game? Well, personally, I really liked how the economy, production, tax efficiency, manpower and other things actually work in this game. You literally just have to click a button and it will upgrade in some kind of way. I feel like that's a very simple way to do that, but at the same time you can do a lot more things with it, which I really like. I feel like it's a very good change from Age of History 2, where you had a slider that most of the time didn't even do anything. So yeah, the economy system is pretty cool in my opinion. I like actually that there are also different resources per province. I feel like that's interesting, but it doesn't really build upon anything crazy really, which kind of sucks, but I mean, happens. Something that I also really like, which I feel like many people actually really hate, is actually the aggressive expansion. It makes the game a little bit more realistic, which is cool. I'm personally a person who hates realism in games, but I also don't really like the game being completely fantasy based. It needs to be at least a little bit realistic to make sense, mostly if this is like a grand strategy game. So basically the aggressive expansion most of the time happens after you make a peace with a nation, and if you take a lot of provinces from them. And if you have 100 aggressive expansion, there will be a coalition made against you, which I feel like is a really cool mechanic, although for now I never actually had that happen, just because I feel like the number is a little bit way too high. Maybe I feel like the aggressive expansion should be maybe 80, so maybe the players would think more so about upgrading their economy and not only upgrading their military. Also kind of a random very small thing that I like about the game, I feel like the music actually fits. I honestly don't know, I just feel like it fits into the game. The music in games in my opinion don't really need to be anything crazy. They don't even need to sound good. In my opinion, it's just very important for the music to actually work with the game, and in this situation, it actually works beautifully. If you declare war at a nation, the music will change to symbolize you actually, having a war with someone, which is in my opinion kind of sick. But even though there are many things that I like about the game, there are sadly some things that I kinda hate about it. First of all, the alliances actually suck. You can only have one ally, and the alliance will actually expire in a couple of years, which I feel like that mechanic just sucks. Like, it just doesn't, like, basically, if you're playing Age of History 3, you need to focus about the ally in the first place, because if you don't have an ally, you're basically dead, because most of the other AI nations will try to have allies also. So it kinda sucks that you kinda need to, you know, be dependent on the other nation that you're gonna ally with. Kinda sucks, honestly. There is a way to have more allies, but I need to spend a lot of legacy points to get it, which is just not worth it in my opinion. Also, sadly, taking over provinces and wars are not really, in my opinion, the best. Mostly because they're really based on Europa Universalis 4, which is, once again, a game that I don't really like. Basically, you can just walk through the whole territory without taking anything, which in my opinion doesn't make any absolute sense. But like, you can just kind of walk there. I don't know how this works. I don't know. It's just kind of weird. I don't like it. It's just confusing in my opinion. I feel like every time you should move there, just like the province basically taken by you. Even though that'll make the game a lot more confusing, I feel like it will make a lot more sense at the same time. I don't know. Also, I honestly kinda dislike that the game is mostly just based on medieval times, what I said before. I'm not really a person that's super interested in those times. I actually recently really like grand strategy games about the modern times. So like, this is kinda let down that everything is kinda just like based on only those and those periods specifically. It just basically makes playing every other scenario kinda pointless because it just doesn't feel right. So to basically finalize my thoughts here, the game is definitely a pretty good grand strategy game. Definitely a lot better than Age of History 2, I have to be honest. It makes a lot of things pretty well. The game has a pretty good atmosphere in my opinion, and it works with the game, but there are still some things that I feel like should be changed and should like completely be overridden with how it worked before in the sequel. So yeah, just to end this video, let's do this. How would I incorporate my whole opinion for this game into just one simple sentence? Well, I'll probably say something like this. It's Europa Universalis 4 but better, so I prefer other ones. Hey, thank you so much for watching this little review that I made. I am actually thinking about making some more of these kind of very short videos where I just kind of talk about some random games that I played that I kind of liked. You guys can also give me some suggestions maybe for some games that you personally like, so I can also maybe review them for some later videos, you know? I would honestly love to play some new games because currently I'm not really in the point where I don't have anything to play. I have games to play, but I really like new experiences, so honestly getting something new will be really fun in my opinion. So yeah. I hope you liked it, and I hope you have a very nice day. Bye bye!